Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Billabong zip-free, zipperless Xero Pro 3-2 summer wetsuit for summer 2015. So this was introduced in the fall last year, I do believe, and it's basically a really stripped down wetsuit, zip-free technology, loads of flexibility and movement, big panels of neoprene. It's all about performance and flexibility and lightweight neoprene. They're using the new Xero foam in this suit, which is basically a neoprene with more air, which makes it quicker to dry, makes it much more stretchy, but also makes it really, really light. And to pick up the suit, it's incredibly lightweight, even though it does actually have a thermal lining within the suit as well. So the idea is that it's just like the most flexible wetsuit that you can get, basically. No zip to make sure that you've got no restriction from any sort of chest zip entry system, but also you do get the sort of thermal lining, so the suit will be really, really warm, and you should be able to wear it for the majority of the year, so kind of May right the way through to November or even December in the UK. So it's 3-2, so 3mm of neoprene on the lower body, one big piece of neoprene, no interruption with any seams or any smooth skin panelling, just one big piece of neoprene. And that's the same around the back as well. Any seams that are on the wetsuit, you can see, are very strategically placed. Make sure they're bent or arced or pulled up so that there's no restriction in the lumbar movement or any sort of panels of the neoprene, nothing around the bum. Even so much around the back of the leg, they've got an embossed piece of around the back of the knee to make sure that you've got loads of movement through the back of the leg as well. So it's all about flexibility and performance. And this foam itself, or the neoprene, is the Xero foam. So it's got more air within the foam. They've found a way to get more air into the actual neoprene itself, which obviously promotes more stretch. Okay, but it also promotes more of a lightweight wetsuit as well. So very, very lightweight to the touch. You actually pick the suit up, it's incredibly light, which is really good because obviously less restriction in the water means that you're going to have less restriction from your wetsuit, but also less weight when the wetsuit takes on water. And it dries quicker as well, so it will dry quicker so that you can get in for your second surf without having to get into a cold, wet wetsuit. So that Xero foam goes the whole way through the suit. Some of the usual stuff, you've got the Duraflex knee pads. They're slightly puffed up to sort of lock onto the knee within the Billabong suits, which is a nice touch. And that will just stop any wear and tear around the knees. Really sort of good system to do that. Usual thing, it's glued and blind stitch wetsuits, which means it's obviously stitched halfway through. On the other side, it's then glued and then taped with the liquid tape running through the inside of the suit. That will just give the suit a huge amount of shelf life. It'll also make sure that no water gets in through the seams. The only downside to it is this liquid taping is a little bit restrictive and can be a bit uncomfortable against the skin, but it should be something to get used to pretty quickly. It's not too much of a downside. And then you've got things like nice little touches, like the sort of little rubber taping around the inside of the wrist there, just to lock the wrist seal and make sure that it doesn't sort of flush up through your wrist too much. The actual lining of this wetsuit is the typical sort of Billabong lycra jersey, which is really, really flexible and very sort of soft to the touch. It does actually insulate a little bit as well, and it's kind of quick drying as well. So the actual lycra they use on the inside of the suit seems to be a bit sort of fluffier than some of the other manufacturers, which is a bonus, definitely in a tactile sort of point of view. So the biggest feature of this suit, number one, is the zip-free entry. Okay, really straightforward. It's very much like a chest zip. So you get the actual entry system is sewn over the top of the inside of the wetsuit here in one big piece. So there's no restriction around the shoulder. Okay, it's just sewn over the top. You get the usual sort of smooth skin lining on the inside, just to create a good bond with the wetsuit. But essentially, there's just no zip running across the front. So the way that you get in, you just pull it up and over your head. This Billabong suit is slightly unusual in so much as it's got another piece underneath, which then goes up and over your head like a bat wing. Okay, so essentially creating a really, really good seal where no water is going to flush through, and if it does, it's then drained out of the actual chest zip system through a drain hole around the back. Okay. So that's going to make sure that any water that is collected within the chest zip system is just taken straight out. So the way that it works, you've got the panel of neoprene which goes over the top, so you pull that back, the inside of the collar is smooth skin lined, the top of the collar is pinched to make it really, really comfy against your neck and dipped around your Adam's apple so that you don't get any sort of restriction or uncomfortable neoprene around your neck. So that goes over the top, and then on the inside you then have this piece of neoprene which goes up and over your head. Okay, it looks kind of complicated, but it's not too bad at all. Once you actually pull that away, then you've just essentially got the inside of the suit, which just pulls open nice and wide, like your standard kind of chest zip. Now, there's no doubt in the world that this is going to be a little bit harder to get on with than a standard chest zip, because you can't open it right up. But having said that, I've got the rip curl version of the same thing, and the zip-free suits are actually okay once you get used to them. They're not too bad at all, especially with good quality neoprene, and in a 3-2 version it shouldn't be too much of an issue at all. So it opens up nice and wide, and the best thing to do is kind of reach in, turn it inside out down to the waist to put it on. But what we'll do here is I'm going to turn it inside out completely, so you can have a look on the inside of the suit, because there's quite a lot of technology that's going on the inside of the Billabong Xero furnace. Let's have a little look. Okay, as I said before, the Xero foam is Billabong's newest kind of neoprene, and it is noticeably lighter, and I think the lycra jersey on the inside of it is noticeably fluffier, so everything kind of feels more aesthetically pleasing once you're trying it on and handling the suit. So here is inside out. So you can see that liquid taping I was talking about the whole way through the suit, which is just going to reinforce the seams around the top. But one thing to sort of point out as well, which I didn't notice, I think it's the liquid taping is sometimes very hard to bond to the sort of that fluffy quick dry lining, and so what they do use is just like a flat tape around the chest piece and around the actual part of the suit which connects the normal neoprene to this quick drying material. Okay, so this quick drying material is very much like the flash dry lining. It's pretty much not exclusive to Rip Curl anymore. It's used by most of the manufacturers in a different sort of pattern. And basically this is Billabong's. It's just that got that carved cutting through it, sort of that hexagonal kind of styling, just basically that creates channels to pull the water out of the fabric, and the whole idea is very quick drying. Okay, and the way it works, it's just like a backcomb polypro, and these little fibres pull moisture out of the fabric and allowing it to dry very quickly. Okay, so if I come closely, it's very, very fluffy. As I say, it's backcomb, so it's got that fluffy sort of lining through it. That's the whole way through the chest panel, I believe, which the whole idea is just retain more heat within the suit. And it is true, the more sort of undulations and fluffiness that you've got, the easier it is for the suit to trap warm air as it leaves your body, and then use that warm air to insulate you. Okay, so you've got that the whole way through the inside of the suit. Around the back, you can see all that liquid taping, and basically that Xero foam running the whole way through the suit. So that's pretty much everything going on inside the Xero furnace, the zip-free version. I think most of us, when spending money on a summer suit, it's not so much about warmth, it's more about flexibility, which this suit does give you, obviously, with the zip-free technology, which I think is really good. But also, a nice little bonus is this sort of thermal lining. It doesn't weigh the suit down too much, and it does give you the option to wear the suit, I would say, for probably a few weeks longer either side of summer. So yeah, it's definitely a suit that you'll be able to wear for the majority of the year. So Billabong Xero Furnace Pro.